Hi students, coming to the next class is the fungi, right? In the last class we discussed about there is a slime molds are there and protozoans are there. We discussed about the slime molds and the protozoans, and remember whatever the protista, kingdom protista is there, we completed the explanation related to the kingdom protista. Coming to the next one is the fungi. This is the separate kingdom, right? Within the fungi there is a multicellular organisms are present. All these are multicellular organisms, but tissues are absent. Within this case the tissues are absent. And remember, all these fungi cells are saprophytic organisms. These are saprophytes. Sir, what is saprophyte? We know saprophytic organisms which are grown on dead and decaying organisms. Which are grown on dead and decaying organisms, right? Once the dead and decaying organisms, whatever the organisms are there, once the organisms are died, upon these organisms the saprophytes are grown, right? So the fungi, simple statement for the fungi is, fungi organisms are multicellular, tissues are absent, which are saprophytes. Majority of the cases these are saprophytes, right? And the cell walls are made up of with the chitin. These organisms are having cell wall. The cell walls are made up of with the chitin, right? That is the explanation related to the basic definition for the fungi. And remember, study about fungi is called as mycology. Study about fungi is called as mycology, right? And see, these are multicellular organisms, tissues are absent, right? Tissues are absent, and cell wall is made up of with chitin. Now suppose there is a fungi is there. So industrially some of the fungi are cultivated, maybe mostly in certain cases, right? So how can we cleave the fungi cell walls? How can we cleave the fungi cell walls? See, the fungi cell wall is made up of with the chitin. How can we cleave the fungi cell walls? See, we need to use here, there is an enzyme. Name of the enzyme is chitinase enzyme. If we use chitinase enzyme, the cell walls of the fungi will be cleaved. The cell walls of the fungi will be cleaved. Due to the reason the fungi cell walls are made up of with the chitin. The chitin is cleaved by the chitinase enzyme, right? That is about the cleavage of the fungi cell walls. And body forms the filamentous structures. See, this is the one of the fungi, right? The fungi body forms the filamentous structure. This is the filamentous structure. Remember, certain biochemical regions, this structure is not called as filament. Certain biochemical region, this structure is not called as filament, and this structure is called as hyphae. This structure is called as hyphae, right? This is about the hyphae, right? And that is about the hyphae. A group of hyphae forms the mycelium. A group of hyphae forms the mycelium. See what hyphae? A group of hyphae are formed. The group of hyphae are called as mycelium, right? Again, mycelium, two different parts are there. Basically, three different parts are there. We will discuss. Some are unicellular fungi. Very rarely, unicellular fungi is also present. The best example is the yeast. Whatever that baker's yeast, we know the bread baking process we are doing nowadays within the bakeries. Okay, that is nothing but yeast. Yeast is the unicellular fungi. Remaining all fungi are multicellular except yeast, right? So that is about the yeast. Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Okay, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, the scientific name, right? And within the fungi, multinucleated condition is there, and within the cells, okay, this is the organism. This is the organism. Within the organism, many number of nuclei are present. Many number of nuclei are present, right? See, this is the multinucleated condition. Multinucleated condition. In certain cases, maybe the uninucleated or binucleated, right? Binucleated. Certain cases, single nucleus. Certain cases, two nucleus. This is the one of the hyphae structure. There is a septa are formed. These are nothing but cross walls. These are nothing but the cross walls. So many number of nucleus are present, but the nucleus are separated by the septa. The nucleus are separated by the septa. So there is a septas are formed. The septas are involved in the separation of nucleus. These septas, in certain cases, one nucleus is separated. In certain cases, two nucleus are separated. In certain cases, two nucleus are separated. Right? So that is about that single nucleus separation, uninucleated, two nucleus separation, binucleated. Two nucleus separation is called as bi means here two. Right? So that is about the multinucleated condition. This is also called xenocytic condition. We'll explain later. This condition is also called xenocytic condition. Right? See, this is a uninucleated separated by the septas. This is a binucleated condition. Right? That is about the conditions presence of the septas. Septas are nothing but cross walls. Septas, these are the septas. Septas are nothing but the cross walls. Right? And coming to the nutrition process, with the nutrition, the fungi are, majority of the fungi are easily saprophytic nutrition. Sir, what is saprophytic nutrition? Remember, this is one of the decaying part, maybe the leaf part, or maybe any dead organism is there. Right? And these organisms, these fungi are attacked on the decaying parts. These organisms are attacked on the decaying parts and releases some of the enzymes. Once the enzymes are released by the fungi, these parts are completely degraded. Okay. Once the cells are destructed here, whatever that digested parts are there, from the digested parts, nutrients are absorbed. From the digested part, nutrients are absorbed. Once the nutrients are absorbed, the fungi will be survived. This nutrition is called as saprophytic nutrition. This is also called extracellular nutrition. This is also called extracellular nutrition. This is also called extracellular. Sorry, this is not extracellular nutrition. This is extracellular digestion. Sorry, this is not extracellular nutrition. This is extracellular digestion. Why this is called as extracellular digestion? Because generally we know we are eating the food. The food is digested inside the organism. But here the food is digested outside the organism. Fungi, this is the fungi. The fungi releases the enzymes, and these enzymes are act on the dead organism, and these parts are digested. Once the digestion takes place, nutrients are absorbed. So this is called as extracellular digestion. Right? And in certain cases, parasitic nutrition. See here the best example, albugo is there. Albugo is one of the fungi, right, which is attack on some of the cruciferaceae plants. See, within the plants, whatever the leaves are there, upon the leaves, there is a white color patches or white color dots like structures are developed. Right? So these are called, that disease is called as white rust disease. Right? So the fungi name is the albugo. Mostly we can see this one within the wheat plants also. We can see in the wheat plants also. That one is also called wheat rust disease. Or here example is cruciferaceae. Right? So here the cruciferaceae family, within that cruciferaceae family plants leaves restricted by the albugo. And Phytophthora infestis. This is the one of the fungi. The fungi is act on potato plants. This fungi is act on potato plants. We know about the iris disease. That is nothing but whatever the potato plants are there, that the potato plants are completely destructed. right? See, the disease name is late blight disease. Late blight disease. This is also called iris disease. In the past, okay, one of these phytophthora fungi act on that potato plants and destructed that potato plants. Whatever that leaves are there, whatever that external parts are there, the external parts are completely destructed. Then there is no formation of the tubers, potato tubers. So the disease is called as late blight disease, caused by the phytophthora. Coming to the next one is the predatory nutrition. Predatory nutrition. See, there is an Arthrobotrys. That is one of the fungi. The fungi is attack on lower nematodes. We know that predator and the prey. Here fungi is like a predator. Lower nematodes are like here prey. So the fungi is attack on the lower nematodes and kills the lower nematodes and absorbs the nutrients from the lower nematodes. And remember, the fungi are most structurally, remember, not nutritionalism, structurally. Okay, these are the most structurally diversified organisms. These are most structurally diversity having organisms. Most structurally diversified organisms are fungi. Right? That is about some of the important points which are related to the fungi. So we discussed about different points here, and we'll discuss about the useful effects and the harmful effects of the fungi. Coming to the next one, harmful effects, beneficial effects and the harmful effects of the fungi. The very first one is the fungi we are using for the fermentation purpose, especially the dough fermentation. Suppose tomorrow, if I want to eat idli or the dosa, okay, today evening, we need to prepare the dough. Whatever that cereals are there, the cereals are soaked after that soaking process, which are grinded, right? And after the grinding process, up to tomorrow, we have to wait, because between this time period, fermentation will be takes place. The fermentation, especially supporting for the production of very smooth idli and the smooth dosa. See, if we are not fermented, if the dough is not fermented, what happens? See, if we are not fermented, whatever the dough we have, for suppose tomorrow morning I wake up and I prepared whatever that cereals are there, okay, the cereals, from the cereals I prepared dough, immediately I done the dosa. See, we didn't get proper dosa. Then because if we try to make complete dosa, that one is breaking down into the individual parts. The dosa will be completely tear out, many number of takes. See, when the dough is completely fermented, that time only we get very smooth and complete dosa. Due to the reason is, when the fermentation takes place, presence of these fungi, especially the yeast is the best example, presence of the fungi. See, the complex molecules are again converted to small molecules. At the same time, during fermentation process, carbon dioxide is produced. Presence of the carbon dioxide and presence of that simple molecules, we get very smooth dosa and complete dosa. Not only dosa, here idli and bread. See, we know when we are eating the bread, within the bread slice, okay, if we observe many number of holes like structures are there. That holes are produced by the accumulation of carbon dioxide, presence of yeast cells. The carbon dioxide is accumulated, presence of yeast cells. The yeast cells are involved in the fermentation process, right? So that is about the dough fermentation process. In the same manner, most of that alcohol beverages are there, whatever that wine, whiskey, brandy and beer, right? See, all these beverage products, whatever that these products are there, all these are produced by the fermentation process. Remember, mostly the organism is the yeast. Right? And antibiotic production. We know one of that best antibiotic in the world, we know still this is one of the best antibiotic for the bacteria. See, antibiotic is the penicillin, right? Penicillium rotatum. Again, we have this concept Penicillium rotatum and Penicillium chrysosinum. These are the organisms which produces that one of the penicillin antibiotic. That antibiotic have the capacity to kill the bacteria. Antibiotic. Bio means life. Anti means against. Against to the life. Especially here, against to the bacteria cells. Against the bacteria cells. Right? That is about the beneficial effects of the fungi and harmful effects. See, the fungi causes the different types of diseases. We know that very first concept. So within the human beings also different types of diseases are caused, especially the skin diseases. We know the ringworm and some persons are having so right. There is in white upon the skin. There is in white patches like structures are there. Right. See, these are majorly caused by the fungi. These are majorly caused by the fungi. And some of the fungi are called as toad tooths. Toad tooths. Nothing but death caps. These are nothing but death caps. See, some of the fungi are poisonous. Some of the fungi are poisonous. So these are poisonous fungi. These fungi are called as poisonous fungi. When we eat that fungi, right, the person will be dead. The person will be dead because that fungi contains some of that very strong, harmful, poisonous substances, right? And these substances act on the systems of the human beings and destroys the systems. Finally, the human being will be dead. The human being or the person will be dead. Right? That is about that poisonous mushrooms, right? And albugo, we already discussed about that albugo, which causes one of the white rust disease in the Cruciferaceae family. Cruciferaceae family, right? And in certain cases, weed plants also, but majorly Cruciferaceae family. And Phytophthora infestus, infestans, especially which is attack on the potato plant, right? And which causes this one is called late blight disease. Late blight disease. And this is also called iris disease. This is also called iris disease, right? So that is about that some of the harmful effects. Remember, here the toad tools. This is a very important bit, and especially related to the fungi, right? Toad tools are nothing but death cats. These are nothing but poisonous mushrooms, right? That is about the harmful effects of the fungi, and this is about the useful effects. Next one we'll discuss about the different characteristic features of the fungi.